Grumbling in the Desert of Sin. A lesson in faith and perspective. It was on the 15th day of the second month after leaving Egypt that the Israelites found themselves in the Desert of Sin. This took place somewhere in the region between Mount Sinai and the plain of Elim. Frustration gripped them as they complained about the lack of food, having exhausted their supplies. Interestingly, their discontent led them to desire death, to return to slavery in Egypt. These people were ready to face death for the sake of their cravings. It's truly astonishing to contemplate human reasoning and fragility of faith in times of pain and suffering. And these were the same people who had witnessed God's miraculous interventions, saving them from Pharaoh's clutches, performing extraordinary feats, and vanquishing their enemies. They had even offered beautiful songs of praise to God for delivering them and parting the Red Sea in wondrous ways. Yet, the absence of food, the absence of readily available groceries, and the absence of Egyptian markets exposed their vulnerability and hunger. Food, it seemed, held a grip on their lives, perpetuating a deception that sustenance and life are inseparable. Our whole community forgot the manifold miracles they had experienced in a remarkably short span, all due to a lack of provision. It is a sobering reflection on human self-reliance and ingratitude. How many miracles do we witness in our lives? Our very own existence is a miracle. Yet, we become so complacent and forgetful that we believe we can rely solely on ourselves. The Israelites, in their distress, failed to recognize that it was God who had led them into the desert from Egypt. Instead, they vented their frustrations on Moses and Aaron, never establishing a true relationship with God, even during the crossing of the Red Sea. Their songs of praise were empty, driven solely by their selfish desires, devoid of any appreciation of God's presence and His role in the miraculous events. We may mock their actions in hindsight, but we are often guilty of the same behaviors. Who are you complaining to? Who do we blame for our problems? Some have blamed their parents, others even their ancestors. And still, some even point fingers at their backgrounds and how they wish they would have been born in privileged circumstances. Your brother, your sister, your spouse are not the root of your problems or suffering. Neither are they responsible for the questions we ask when we suffer. We should directly turn to God, the creator and sustainer of our being, and question Him on our suffering, and refrain from blaming others who are not responsible for our situations. If the Israelites were blind to God's guidance, what about us today? How blind can we be? not even able to recognize our own faults. Where is our faith? How could God perform such astounding miracles for them and yet not receive their trust? Have we asked ourselves today what we need from God? And do we even appreciate the bigger blessings He provides? Or do we take everything for granted? We breathe freely every day. We engage seemingly in our daily activities. We even take restroom visits for granted, yet they are supposed to be miracles. Only realized in the face of adversity and sickness in hospitals. If only we could open our eyes and learn from the mistakes of others and renew our faith, we would be saved. God is not interested in our complaints and grumblings. Rather, He uses the pains as a test of faith. However, many of us have continued to fail in these tests. Like the Israelites of the old, today's generation rebels against Him, believing that they can do as they please simply because they exist and they continue to live, failing to realize they have been given a chance that they quickly misuse. God is omniscient, aware of the beginning and the end. Those who doubt His knowledge are as lost as the Israelites in the desert of sin. If you believe you can rely solely on your abilities to survive and that your provision sustains your life, you are so deluded. People who rely on food do not die satisfied. But our God is merciful, patient, long-suffering, and eternally loving. Today, let us refrain from grumbling and face our future in hope, recognizing that God is with us in the desert, expecting us to follow His commands and pass the tests. God's grace is boundless, but it is not limitless. When He calls upon you, do not harden your heart. Let us approach God with faith, seeking first His kingdom, and everything else shall be added unto us.